So hi all, listen, it's been a really long time since I've done a video because I haven't really gotten the opportunity to do them. I've been extremely busy, but I wanted to do this video because of the fact that um, basically I learned a lot on this vacation that I've taken. It's my 50th birthday. If you guys don't know, I'm from California, but we flew to Europe for my 50th. Anyway, so I have a few scriptures that I want to read first, and then I want to go back over the story that I want to tell you that has to do with my 50th birthday. So anyway, let me read these scriptures. So, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And then, so that is Psalm 23. Now I'm going to read Matthew 6, 25 through 27. Okay, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your body what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment? Behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? Which of you, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit unto his stature? So then I'm gonna read this. So that was Matthew 6, 25 through 27. And next we're gonna do Philippians 2, 3. And then all of this will make sense once I tell you the story of what happened during our trip. I went way past. Okay. Philippians 2, 3. So, let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind let each esteem other better than themselves. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first, Psalm 23. In Psalm 23, the Lord is talking about Psalm 23. Okay, so it says, He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still water. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of the death. Okay, so here's the story. So my husband and I decided we were going to go for my 50th birthday, go on a trip to Europe. So I started planning this like 6 months or a year ago that we were going to go. I think it was a year ago. And immediately after I started planning it, things started falling apart. Literally falling apart. A friend of mine was supposed to come with us and didn't have the money to come. Then also my business fell apart in last year and I had to move. And then also, and I knew that this was a trip that the Lord wanted me to go on, right? Because I had been praying about it. But every time something would happen, I'd say, well, Lord, am I really supposed to go on this trip? You know, this is a long way away from home. Should I really go? Blah, blah, blah. And I kept getting that, yes, I should go while I was praying. So, I want to say 2 weeks before we left, 4 weeks before we left. Now, we've been having problems with our pipes at our house because we have an old house in California. And so, we'd been having problems with our pipes, but, nothing this major. So 2 weeks before we're getting ready to leave, I'm having to work on the pipes at the house because the whole house has been clogged up. Now, normally my thing is to just cancel a trip and not go and take care of the pipes and do the right thing. But I kept getting that I needed to go on this trip, right? So I decide, okay, even though the house is falling apart and things are not going right, I'm still going to go on this trip and I'm going to make the best of it, right? Because I'm going to be 50 and, I was basically thinking of myself. So we get on this trip and not realizing that as we're flying over, okay, first and foremost, the coronavirus is running rampant right now. Also, we didn't know that there was a huge storm coming that comes once every 100 years in London and Scotland. And we were going to London, Scotland, and then down to Spain. So we decide we're still going to make this trip. We didn't know that we were sick on the plane. So as we're getting ready to get off the plane, both my husband and I are feeling really badly. So as we're getting off the plane, we're feeling bad. It's cold in London. We spent the whole day in the hotel. The whole time in the hotel. We had 3 days in London. The whole time. We had plans to go out. We had plans to go do things, and we couldn't do it because we were sick. Now, at first I was upset about that, and it got into my flesh, and I was like, wow, God, you sent me over here. You said things were going to happen and that I was going to see things. And now here we are stuck in the hotel. Well, come to find out, that same day, or like 1 or 2 days into our trip, there was a terrorist attack in London, right where we would have been had we gone out. And then where we ended up going, not too many days afterwards, was that same spot where the Lord, had saved us from basically a terrorist attack, because we would have been in London at that point. Okay, so then that happens, and I think, oh gosh, God saved us from that. Thank God, even though we were sick, we're going to get better, and things are going to get better. So we go to Edinburgh in Scotland. Now, in Edinburgh, I had planned like 5 days in Edinburgh. I'd say 3 out of the 5 days we spent in the bed because we were sick. And come to find out that at least one of those 5 days, actually 2 of those 5 days that we spent in the bed had we not been in the bed, we wouldn't have known that there was a storm coming. So my husband and I, and this storm happens once every 100 years, they said. It's like totally unprecedented, this storm. 70 to 80 mile an hour winds, and basically flooding everywhere, all the way from Scotland to Ireland. It's totally flooded. It totally flooded at that point. So now this is 3 days into our trip. And the craziest thing is, of course, God is still taking care of us, and I'm not even realizing at this point what's going on. So we get ready to leave to drive from Scotland to London, back to London, so we can fly out to Spain. Okay, so we drive down, but we decided we were going to leave earlier because I'd been praying about it, and the Lord said that we should leave at like 5 a.m. instead of leaving at, I think we were going to leave at like 6 or 7 a.m. Had we left at 6 or 7 a.m., we would have been caught in one of the worst storms known in history here in London. But the Lord had us leave at 5 a.m., and we were still hitting flooding at 5 a.m. So basically, he saved us from 80 to 90 mile an hour winds, flooding, a terrorist attack, and now it gets even better because we get down to, now before we got to Spain, there was, as we were leaving, there was someone who had contracted the coronavirus. Before we came to Spain, there was someone who had contracted the coronavirus. As we're leaving, we finally get on a plane. Okay, so as we're leaving to go, we thought we were leaving to go to Spain. We got caught in London 3 more days. The Lord kept us 3 more days, and I decided I was gonna do my laundry because we're here for 3 weeks and we only had enough clothes for, 1 week. So I decided I'm gonna do my laundry, and I totally, while I was doing the laundry, my husband can attest to this. While I was doing my laundry, I had turned up the heater so much that I was basically creating steam in the room, which basically helped to get rid of not only dry my clothes really quickly, but it also helped to get rid of what was left of the sickness that we had. So the first 2 weeks that we've been here, we were sick, and I'm still like battling it a little bit. But the craziest part is not that we were sick, but that the Lord had already saved us from. Let me recount this. The Lord had already saved us from a terrorist attack in London, a hurricane, or basically not a hurricane, but like basically a storm in Edinburgh and London, and now we weren't flying out because of the storm. So now we're stuck in the hotel for 3 days, stuck in London. So at that point, we realized that we were kind of running out of money. I mean, we were literally running low on money. So I had 2 extra days that we were going to stay in London on our way back from Spain, because the trip was supposed to be London, Edinburgh, Spain, and then London again. Well, we decided we were giving up London. We were giving up our car in Spain because at this point we're running low on money, and because we've been gone for 3 weeks and we needed to buy, food and stuff while we were here. So anyway, I've already made this a long story, but the thing is, it's all very relevant to what I'm about to say, and it all leads back to Scripture. So, so we're in London, and we finally get to fly out. As we're flying out, I realized that there was a coronavirus person had contracted coronavirus in Spain. Now, so basically, the Lord saved us from that too. There was someone who, as we were leaving London, contracted it. There was someone, as we were coming to Spain, had contracted it. And then not only that, but there was the plane that my husband and I would be taking back, that we had, because we had, at one point we said, well, we should just give it up. We don't have any money. We're running out of money. If we don't leave now, if we don't go back to San Francisco now, we're not going to make it back to America. And the plane that was coming back from America was held up at the London airport. And basically, that would have been the plane that we would have been on. And that plane was held up for hours on the tarmac because somebody had contracted the coronavirus. So do you see how the Lord has been protecting me? So this is where this all comes in, okay? It's, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. So the whole time that this has been going on, I've been praying through it. And the whole time I've been asking the Lord, what should I do? What should I do? Right? And every time he tells us, he gives us, like, even with my husband, he's given him, whenever I get down or whatever, he's given him, things to say to me to help me to feel better, and then we've both been praying on it. And then and this is where Matthew 6:25 through 27 comes in, because he does take care of us. He's taking care of us through this whole trip. Now, the money that I was talking about earlier, that we were going to need, do you know that the Lord provided for us, that he gave us back the money that we were going to spend, or that we had already spent on a hotel room in London, and that United Airlines was so kind that they gave us back our money. They gave us, actually what they did was, because we wanted to leave out a day early because of everything we've been through, we ended up calling United Airline, and United Airline actually let us leave early, which they normally charge people. They let us leave. It would have been $300 a piece, $600, and we didn't have it. And that's what I told them on the phone. I said, we don't have it, but we need to leave early because we're done with this trip. So they ended up giving us a free, they ended up giving us a day, letting us leave a day early for free. So do you see how the Lord takes care of us? And that leads back to Psalm 2:3. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind. Let each esteem other better than themselves. Let not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. So had these people not been kind, and had these people not been kind to us, we wouldn't have gotten, as we wouldn't have gotten as far as we had, because there was one lady, whenever we decided we were gonna stop, get rid of our trip in London, when we decided we were going to cancel our trip, our last 2 days in London, on our way back, she was kind enough to allow us to, even though their policy is not to cancel. That's their policy. Their policy is not to cancel, because it was transferable. We could transfer the money to other days, but we could not cancel our trip and get our money back. After telling her the story of what we had gone through, she was so kind. I don't even know if this lady's a Christian or not, but this is what I'm trying to tell you, is there are still good people out there who still need us to bring them to Christ. You get what I'm saying? So there are still good people out there. And she listened to our story, and she understood that, we'd been through craziness. You can hear our story and you can see we've been through craziness. But through the whole time, I've been telling everybody that it was God that was helping us out. So do you understand that we need to have joy in serving, but not just joy in serving, but joy in the fact that the Lord is always there for us, and these people obviously have joy in their serving. I don't know whether they're Christians or not, but they were both kind enough to to give us our money back, and that's the only way we were able to get through. And that's all. But see, the thing is, here's what I know, that it's all God who is all sovereign over this whole situation and has created all of these opportunities for us to come here to Europe, which I should be grateful for, and to hopefully leave Europe. So I need your guys' prayers that we can get out of here, because it's just been a crazy trip, and I'll be kind of glad whenever it's over with. But anyway, I did turn 50 here in Europe. Anyway, so God bless you all. I hope that you guys you enjoyed the video. Just remember Psalm 23, Matthew 6:24-26, and Philippians 2:3. All right, God bless. Have a blessed day.